Hi everyone, I'm Tiwa from Wiser Biker, and today I'll be giving you a review of a budget bike computer. And that is the iGPSports BSC100S. Now, iGPSports stands for Innovation for Great Performances at Sports, and it is a brand that is owned by a Chinese tech enterprise, Qiwu Technology. This BSC100S is one of their latest addition, and iGPSports have kindly sent us these products for our review. Now, for those of you who haven't been using a bicycle computer basically is a device that can help you track different data to assist you in your trainings, such as speed, distance, cadence, heart rate, a whole lot of other useful data that can put them together into an app for you to view. During our testing, we have used the bicycle computer in conjunction with all these sensors, and we found out that all these sensors has very high accuracy. Today's review, I'll be focusing on the BSC100S bicycle computer itself. So let's see what's inside the box. First is the standard base for you to mount onto the handlebar. It also comes with a user quick guide, the iGPSports BSC100S. That's all the things that's inside the box. And now the detailed specifications. The retail price of the BSC100S selling in US at the time of this video is $39.99 USD, and in Singapore is selling at $47.30. The data storage can be up to 250 hours. The screen is 2.6 inch big and 2 buttons to navigate the pages, and it only weighs 67 grams. Other features including customizable pages, total of 4 pages. It utilizes a full GNSS including the GPS, GLONASS, Beidou, Galileo, and QZSS. The battery life is 40 hours. It uses a Type-C USB. It also comes with IPX7 waterproofing. As for the wireless transmission, for speed, cadence, and heart rate monitor, it can use with Bluetooth 5.0 and N+. As for power meter, it uses N+ connectivity, and it has its own iGPSports app support and can be linked to Strava and Training Peaks. Alright, now I'm going to tell you straight what are the good things I find about this bicycle computer. Now, as a budget bike computer, I find the design of this unit really good. It has got a large screen, 2.6 inch to be exact, and it has got 2 really easy to use buttons that provides very good feedback. So when you press them to navigate, it is actually very sensitive and very easy to use. The mounting here is the same of a Garmin mount. The next part I like about this bicycle computer is the amazing battery life. Now, it can last you for 40 hours of usage, and that means for a rider like me who rides about 3 to 5 hours a week, it can really last me for a month without charging. When you really need to charge it, it comes with a USB-C charging port, so the charging time is really fast, except that the cable doesn't come along with the unit. Now, the third thing I like about this bicycle computer is that for an entry-level budget bike computer, it comes with some really cool features that are not normally found on other budget computers. Now, one of these features is a smart notification. When paired with a phone, this computer can give you a notification for incoming calls. The blinking sign is quite small, but it is still a very good feature to have. And the next things also fall into the smart feature is a whole list of auto functions. So it actually all in all got more than 10 auto functions, and out of them I really like is the auto start, auto pause, and auto stop functions. I find the auto start and auto pause function very useful. That means all I need to do now is just ready to press a button and switch on the bike computer, and I can start riding without worrying that I forgot to start and record. Now, lastly, it also supports power meters. Now, in most budget bike computers, they don't go beyond just cadence and speed sensors or heart rate monitors. They don't go beyond that. But for this, it also supports power meter, and it's a very useful feature because when you start to get more serious about your training and you start to utilize a power meter, this bicycle computer can still be relevant and still can help you track all those data. And you don't have to upgrade a new bicycle computer when you buy a power meter. Lastly, what I really like about this BSC100S or in fact iGPSports, is that they comes with a very, very good app support. Our team is thoroughly impressed by the app itself. Now I'm going to show you the interface. It is very simple and easy to use. It's very user-friendly. It's got 4 main tabs and everything fall into places. Let me just show you what are the useful things about this. When you go to activity and just track one of the, let me take one of the training. Now this is where it gets very useful. It puts all the data that he has collected into very meaningful and nice looking visual graphs for you to actually apprehend and understand your training more. Okay, so let's take a look at this. For example, my heart rate. So if I look at my heart rate now, throughout my whole ride, I now can track and trace and see how much time I'm spending on each of the heart rate zone here. So for this ride, for example, I'm spending almost 80% of the time in zone 1 and zone 2 training. Now that actually meets the purpose of my ride. At the end of my ride, I can actually always refer back to this parameter here, the heart rate zone readings, and to see whether I was actually doing the correct zone training during my ride. Another useful thing here is this, the altitude. Now at this tab, you can actually see that 27% of the time I was doing a descent and 23.4% I was doing a climb. The rest of the time I was on flat road. Now I find this feature very useful because now it helps me kind of record the type of ride I have and record the route I've cycled that day. And in the future, if I want to engage myself in the kind of combination of climb and flats, then I know which route I should take. So all these are just examples of how you can use all these very nice looking graphs. So they are not just nice looking, but they actually serve really practical purposes. At the summary page, now this is the first time that I see so many numbers and I don't get traumatized. I actually feel that they are very easy to digest when I look at them. Distance, average speed, maximum speed, everything is very clear. At the setting page, you can see that there is a workout setting tab. Now, what's interesting here is that they show you different zones, your heart rate, power zone, speed zone, cadence zone, and etc. So what they actually do is that when you input your maximum heart rate and your resting heart rate, it can auto calculate the different heart rate zones for you. And this is a very cool and useful features because it helps me to plan my training. Once I put in these numbers, I know that my zone 1 is, I got a heart rate that is between 134 to 153, and my zone 2 is 153 to 166. So every time when I'm out riding, and if I have to refer to my bike computer, I just have to take note that if I'm engaged in a zone 2 training right now, I need to keep my heart rate between 153 to 166. So yep, very, very useful features for people who actually plan their trainings. After about 2 months of using this, I didn't experience any technical problem with the app. So it is considered very stable. Okay, after the good things about this bike computer, there are some features that I find that it's really good, but at the same time, it is not that good. There are actually 2 things I want to highlight. Okay, so the one thing that about love and hate is the accuracy of the data collected. Now, we have used this with the sensors, the cadence sensor, speed sensor, and heart rate monitor to collect all the data there. And we have actually compared the data with a Wahoo Element board, another bicycle computer, as well as the Brighton Rider 750, and also cross-check the readings, some of the readings to Google Earth as well. And we found that there are 2 things that recorded here to have a slight error, and that is the elevation as well as the altitude that is measured. Both of this tends to be about 5% more than the actual reading. I really care about how much climbs that I've done for my training that day. A pity that it happens to have a parameter that really affects me a lot. And the next thing about this love and hate category is a customization feature. Now, it's always a good thing to have some form of customization, but when we are using this unit, we find that the customization is not a fully customizable page setup. So I'm going to go into the page setup here. At it, you find that you can't actually have what you want at where you want. And just to show you an illustration, each of this box here have a prefix kind of tabs that you can choose. For example, here, you can only choose time, cadence, and more. Then you cannot have any other parameters to be there. Like for example, I can't have my power in that tab specifically. That is what I mean by having customization, but not a fully customizable screen. And another thing more peculiar is that now you see under the elevation, you have maximum elevation, average elevation, and now all of a sudden you have a total ascent. So it's kind of out of the place to have an ascent and then when the rest are elevation, right? So I mean, they could easily make it to be a total elevation, for example, just to make things more consistent and easier for the users to comprehend. So overall, what I think is that it is a good intention to give users the ability to customize their screen, their pages. But here, in my opinion, it is poorly done. And now, the last part after love and hate is the things that I hope that they can improve on. Let's see. Now, I find that the screen is a little bit cluttered with different information. There are a few things that I think we can do without to have a more simplified screen for easier reading. The lab reading here, for example, I think we can do without it. I mean, most of the time, I won't be tracking my labs, or even if I do, it can always be done at the background when I set it to auto lab. So I don't need that in every page. So another thing is this, now you just see a line, but actually there is a dynamic bar as shown in the picture here. Now you can see these dynamic bars here, they actually changes with the speed as well as the power that you're riding on. For example, if you're riding at a lower speed, it's got about 1 bar, and when you move to the next range, it will slowly increase bar by bar. Okay, I find this purely aesthetic and not really adding any value to my ride. I mean, most of the time I will just look at the number itself, the absolute number as the indication. There's no choice for me to select to have it or not to have it. Yeah, so that is something that really disturbs me. And eventually it brings me to the last point that I find weird, and I hope that IGPSports can do better in this, and that is the user quick guide. Now, this is the first time I find myself quite stranded at times when I don't understand some functions. I always fall back to the user manual, but this quick guide most of the time cannot give me the answer, right? It is really oversimplified. There are a lot of things that were not explained. For example, the dynamic bar that I just told you about, it was not explained in the user guide and was not explained what it actually even means. And this bar here, there's also another dynamic bar here, not explained here, but later I found out it's actually the indication of when you pair with a power meter, it will come up. Yeah, so these are kind of things that can cause a lot of confusion to the user when it is not explained. So I hope they can really improve on this and just do user manual more justice. Alright, so in conclusion here, well, the iGPSports BSC100S has got some imperfections, but I have to be fair and to look at it as a whole package with respect to the price as well. I mean, this is only selling at $39.99 USD. And just to give you an illustration, another very popular budget bike computer, the Zorz G Plus, is selling at about the same price with a much smaller screen, much fewer features, and a less capable app support. So by considering all this, I'll say that this is a very, very good option for entry-level budget bike computer. And if you are one that is considering to get a budget bike computer, I think you should really give this a serious consideration. Okay, so that's all I've got for you today for the iGPSport BSC100S. I hope you liked the content today. Now, if you have come across any other models, any other budget bike computers that are as good as this or even better than this, do let us know in the comment box below because we want to check them out as well. Okay, so don't forget to give us your support by liking this video and continue to subscribe to our channel. Bye-bye!